Jamaica stands on the verge of a historic transformation, one that could finally break its remaining colonial connections and reshape its national identity. For more than 6 decades since gaining independence in 1962, the island has continued under the British monarchy, with the King of England retaining symbolic authority over the nation. However, the long-discussed movement toward becoming a republic is gathering strength, and Jamaica is now closer than ever to replacing the British monarch with a Jamaican president. This transition represents more than just a legal or political change. It's a profound declaration about sovereignty, identity, and Jamaica's path toward complete independence. By cutting this final institutional tie to its colonial history, Jamaica would join other Caribbean nations like Barbados, which transitioned to a republic in 2021. What implications does this hold for the country's future? Will this step enhance Jamaica's sovereignty, or are there unforeseen challenges on the horizon? As Jamaica approaches this crucial juncture, we at Caribbean Focus have decided to examine this pivotal moment in the nation's journey, investigating the motivations behind the push for Republican status, the steps involved, and the potential effects on Jamaica's political, social, and cultural landscape. Join us as we explore this defining chapter in the island's history. Let's begin by examining Jamaica's colonial past. Jamaica's connection with Great Britain spans centuries of colonial history, a multifaceted legacy of exploitation, resistance, and evolution. In 1655, British forces captured the island from Spanish rule, beginning nearly 3 centuries of British colonial dominance. Under British governance, Jamaica developed into one of the world's leading sugar producers, heavily dependent on enslaved African labor to maintain its plantation economy. Although slavery ended in 1834, the British Empire maintained control over the country for more than another 100 years. By the mid-20th century, as independence movements spread throughout colonies worldwide, Jamaica began its campaign for self-governance. This was no simple endeavor. After years of advocacy and negotiations, Jamaica finally achieved independence on August 6, 1962, marking a watershed moment in its history. Yet many consider this independence incomplete. While Jamaica gained full control over its internal affairs under this constitutional monarchy, Queen Elizabeth II remained the ceremonial head of state, locally represented by a governor-general appointed on the recommendation of the Jamaican Prime Minister. In practical terms, all laws and decisions required approval from the head of state, the Queen's representative on the island or the Governor-General. This effectively granted the Governor-General authority to reject any decisions made by the democratically elected Parliament and Prime Minister, an arrangement that continues today. Although the Governor-General has never vetoed legislation, as it is customary for them to always approve bills passed by Parliament, they still possess the power to reject legislation. In effect, the Governor-General occupies the most powerful political position in the country, and the King of England maintains the potential to directly intervene in the country's affairs. Despite independence, the continued role of the British monarch as Jamaica's head of state remains controversial. Many see it as a persistent symbol of colonial power that conflicts with the nation's aspiration for complete sovereignty. Others, however, view it as having no practical impact on the country's governance and serving as a link to its historical roots. Throughout the decades, numerous discussions and initiatives have sought to transform Jamaica into a republic. In 1995, for instance, the government officially proposed a Republican framework suggesting the replacement of the Governor-General with a Jamaican president. Likewise, in 2012, during the celebration of Jamaica's 50th independence anniversary, there were renewed appeals for constitutional reform. More recently, regional developments such as Barbados becoming a republic in 2021 have rekindled the conversation in Jamaica with unprecedented intensity. Public and political backing for republicanism in Jamaica continues to grow, fueled by a shared desire to completely cut ties with the colonial era and establish a head of state who truly represents Jamaica's citizens. As the nation contemplates its historical relationship with Great Britain, the transition to republic status has become increasingly vital to Jamaica's ongoing pursuit of self-determination and national identity. But what is Jamaica's current situation? Jamaica's shift to a republic represents a significant undertaking that requires modifying the country's constitution, addressing the legal consequences of removing the British monarch as head of state, and establishing how the new head of state will be selected. The primary step toward becoming a republic involves amending Jamaica's constitution, which designates the British monarch as the head of state. To facilitate this major constitutional transition, the Jamaican government established the new Ministry for Legal and Constitutional Affairs, forming a constitutional reform committee in March 2023. This constitutional reform committee was charged with conducting a comprehensive review of the country's 1962 constitution. However, the Constitution Reform Commission's methodology has faced criticism. Critics point to the lack of diversity among commissioners, with 11 out of 15 members having legal backgrounds. This raises concerns about inadequate representation from different sectors of Jamaican society. Additionally, although the new commission was formed in 2023, it has convened only a few times and conducted limited public consultations to gather input from the broader population. Moreover, discussions have emerged regarding whether to prioritize republic status over other constitutional reforms and how to select the future president who will replace the Governor General. Despite these obstacles, the government remains dedicated to achieving republic status before the next general election in 2025. In a significant development in December 2024, the government introduced legislation in Parliament to abolish the monarchy and transition the country to a republic. By the way, if you're finding this video informative, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. It greatly helps us deliver more quality content. Thank you. Now let's examine what's included in the bill. In December 2024, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, the Honorable Marlene Malahou Fort, presented the Constitutional Amendment Republic Act 2024 in the House of Representatives, which would abolish the constitutional monarchy and transform Jamaica into a republic. The introduction of this bill represents the most significant progress thus far in our efforts to reform Jamaica's constitution to achieve the national objective of having a Jamaican citizen as head of state. Crucially, the bill will provide comprehensive provisions for the office of the President of Jamaica as a republic, covering qualifications for holding office, appointment procedures, term limits, conditions for removal, immunity, and the official oath. Furthermore, references to the crown, royal, dependencies, and other monarchical terminology and institutions will be replaced. But the legislation will accomplish more than simply replacing the Governor General as head of state and updating terminology. It will address numerous other aspects of the country's constitution. The revised constitution will establish joint sessions of the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate will also be expanded to include senators appointed independently of political parties in the House of Representatives. Moreover, when making appointments in that category, consideration must be given to representing the interests of Jamaican citizens residing abroad. The legislation will also formally incorporate the national emblem, flag, anthem, both lyrics and music, national tree, flower, fruit, and bird, along with the motto, pledge, national song, lyrics and music, and national prayer into the Constitution. It will also strengthen provisions regarding Jamaican citizenship and formally recognize Jamaica's participation in the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, at the highest constitutional level. Let's examine the broader implications of becoming a republic. Jamaica's transition from a constitutional monarchy to a republic will have far-reaching effects across political, economic, cultural, and social dimensions. This represents a transformative moment in Jamaica's history, but thorough consideration of the consequences is necessary to ensure a smooth and successful transition. Jamaica's shift to republic status raises questions about its relationship with the Commonwealth of Nations, an organization composed of former British colonies and territories. While Jamaica can maintain Commonwealth membership as a republic, as countries like India, Barbados, and South Africa have done, many are concerned this might affect its relationship with the monarchy. Another important consideration involves the broader economic implications of becoming a republic. Implementing constitutional changes will require financial resources and expenses related to updating official documents, signage, and symbols that currently reference the monarchy. However, on the positive side, Republic status is expected to enhance the country's international image as an independent, sovereign nation, potentially benefiting trade, foreign relations, and tourism. Tourists, especially from the Jamaican diaspora, may see this transition as a reason to reconnect with the country's renewed identity, potentially strengthening the economy. Additionally, this move could create opportunities to reinforce economic partnerships with regional and global allies by presenting Jamaica as a modern and self-reliant nation, free from its colonial history. As symbols, national emblems, and names reflecting colonial ties are replaced, the transition to a republic is expected to foster greater unity and civic participation among Jamaicans. By moving beyond its colonial legacy, the nation will achieve full independence and has already begun to cultivate a stronger sense of ownership and pride in its governance and future. So, as Jamaica completes this significant transformative step in the nation's journey toward complete sovereignty and self-determination, it marks the beginning of a new chapter in its history. Becoming a republic symbolizes the nation's separation from its colonial past and its embrace of a future shaped entirely by the will of its people. By installing a Jamaican president in place of the British monarch as head of state, Jamaica will not only strengthen its national identity, but also enhance its democratic institutions and reaffirm its dedication to self-governance. Nevertheless, this transition faces certain hurdles, as the constitutional reform bill must still be approved by the House of Representatives, passed by the Senate, and ultimately receive assent from none other than the Governor General. However, if everything proceeds as planned, Jamaica is positioned to establish itself as a fully independent nation by the end of this year, 2025. Jamaica stands at the threshold of a new chapter, one in which its citizens completely determine their own future. Transitioning to a republic represents more than a political shift. It's a powerful declaration of sovereignty, identity, and national pride. As the nation approaches this historic milestone, one reality is evident. Jamaica's path forward will be charted by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. The journey continues, but the spirit of independence shines more brilliantly than ever. What are your thoughts on Jamaica becoming a republic? Do you believe this change will reinforce the country's independence? Or do you think the British monarchy still has a meaningful role? Share your perspectives in the comments section below.